All right, with a surprising win last night in Michigan, a lot of people wondering what's going to happen to at least some of those superdelegates, the vast majority of whom, say maybe 20 or 22, are right now for Hillary Clinton. Would some of them be peeled off thinking maybe the momentum is turning? Probably not right away, but I want to get the read from a Democratic superdelegate in her own right. Christine Pelosi joining us right now. Christine, very good to have you.
Thank you.
All right, now you are a superdelegate for Hillary Clinton. What's your sense of the role of a superdelegate? I mean, they're not glued to a candidate for a first ballot, right? So you could change your mind, right?
Well, I don't think I'll have to, because I believe Hillary will be the nominee. I was ready for Hillary 2 years ago and been campaigning for her ever since. I did write an op-ed with Anna Galland, my friend from Move On. She's feeling the burn. I'm with Hillary. We wrote together as moms of young children saying we wanted to show them that we could be in conflict over a candidate and not be in conflict with each other, and that we think that we should work our hearts out for our candidate, and then after June 14th, the D.C. primary, everybody come together on June 15th, and all of the superdelegates ought to go with the winner of the pledged delegates. We call it team democracy, and we think all the superdelegates should do it.
Now, as you know, Christine, I guess 8 years ago, Hillary Clinton had the vast majority of those same superdelegates. But as the campaign season ensued, many of them began peeling off for then Senator Barack Obama, who was rising and then winning. So I guess there was no glue to keeping the one candidate. What would it take for you? I mean, if the argument being that if Sanders were to pull off more Michigan-like victories in the so-called Rust Belt, maybe the tide would be turning. Are superdelegates bound to a candidate? What does it take for them to become unbound?
We are not bound. Elected members of Congress, elected members of the Democratic National Committee, and other Democratic officials are what we're called super because we are unbound. I run every year, including now for a 4-year term, to the National Committee. I work hard all 4 years, so I think I should get a vote at the 4-day board meeting that will happen at our convention. But I also think that what I ought to do, what each of us ought to do, is let the people speak. Let the American people vote. And once they do, the winner of the pledged delegate contest should have all 712 of the superdelegate votes. And by the way, that includes superdelegate Bernie Sanders and superdelegate
But
Bill
don't
Clinton.
You think the presence of the superdelegate math, if you were to look at that as a Democratic voter and say, see her tally, that is Hillary Clinton's tally, with superdelegates such as yourself, they say, gee, why am I bother voting? She's already got it.
Well, see, now this is why in 2009 I testified before the DNC that they ought to reduce the role of superdelegates. They ought to have caucus states have automatic vote by mail so that working people, moms of young children like me, seniors, people who can't go to caucus and stay at caucus could have a vote, that they should move the conventions to weekends rather than weekdays to satisfy the networks. No offense, and that superdelegates ought to be clear that we do have a role in working with the party and shaping the platform and working for the candidates, but that superdelegates ought to bind ourselves to the winner of the pledged delegate count. And they didn't take all of my advice. They reduced some of the roles, but I'm hoping that this renewed interest in the Democratic National Committee and the Democratic Party will spur the reforms that I've been asking for 7 years.
All right. Well, we'll see. Christine Pelosi, thank you very much.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate it.